Hello, and thank you for visiting the Intergenerational Connection channel. Today, we're going to talk about something very important for those of us approaching the retirement phase of life: retirement planning for seniors. Avoid these costly mistakes. I want to share a story of a friend, one that touches on the challenges of preparing for retirement and the lessons she learned along the way. My hope is that this story will not only help you identify the mistakes you should avoid, but also provide practical solutions for how to build a solid retirement plan. So let's get started. I vividly remember the feeling I had when I first started thinking about retirement. It's a stage in life that I'd spent so much time preparing for, but still, something didn't feel quite right. Everyone always says that retirement will be a time of peace and ease, but I couldn't help but wonder, will I be able to live independently and happily in these later years? Growing up, I was always taught that family was everything. I raised two children on my own, and like many parents, I believed that when I reached retirement, my children would be the ones to take care of me. I thought that they would be there to support me in my later years, and this belief was comforting. But life isn't always as we expect it to be. One day, I decided to sit down and have a serious conversation with my children about my retirement plan. I was worried, but I also hoped that they would help me navigate this next stage. My son, who has always been very practical, suggested that I look into assisted living facilities. His reasoning was that there I could meet people my age and benefit from medical services if my health declined. Initially, I thought this might be a reasonable solution, but after giving it some thought, I realized it might not be exactly what I wanted. On the other hand, my daughter suggested that I hire a caregiver to come to my house. She thought this would allow me to stay in my familiar environment, which seemed appealing. However, I began to worry about the costs associated with hiring a caregiver, and I wasn't sure if I could form a meaningful connection with someone who was essentially a stranger. Would I feel isolated, even in my own home? In the end, after a lot of reflection and discussion, I decided to try rotating between living at each of my children's houses. I thought that, at least for the time being, this would keep the family connection strong. But what I didn't anticipate was the number of challenges that would arise from this arrangement. Living with my son seemed fine at first, but gradually I started to notice a few issues. My daughter-in-law managed my retirement account, and I began to feel like I was losing control over my own finances. I didn't have my own room and had to sleep on the sofa in the living room, which started affecting my sleep and my overall health. As time went on, I started feeling like a financial burden on their family. I couldn't help but feel a shift in the dynamics between me and my children. One day, I overheard my daughter-in-law complaining about expenses, and it hit me. My children love me, but they have their own lives to live, with their own responsibilities. I couldn't keep expecting them to take care of me all the time. That was when I started seriously thinking about my independence. I knew I couldn't continue living like this. I needed to regain control. After living with my son for a while, I decided to try living with my daughter. At first, I was thrilled to see how well she took care of me. She prepared delicious meals, took me on walks in the park, and encouraged me to participate in outdoor activities. I felt like I had found a place where I could truly thrive. But over time, I began to sense some discomfort from my son-in-law and my grandchildren. I began to feel like I wasn't really part of the family. No matter how hard I tried to contribute by doing housework, I still felt like an outsider. Despite my efforts to fit in, I began to feel that living with my daughter wasn't the right solution either. I was grateful for her care, but I didn't feel like I truly belonged. That's when I started to wonder if living with my children was really the right choice for me. Finally, I made the decision to return to my own home, the place where I could take charge of my life and find peace. I didn't have to rely on anyone, and I could make my own decisions. Even though my daughter invited me to stay with her, I politely declined. I realized that maintaining my independence and personal space was the most important thing for me. I also started looking into retirement communities, places where I could meet other people and maintain a sense of social connection. I realized that I wasn't just living alone, but rather I could be part of a larger community. I felt like this was a healthy balance between independence and socialization. So, what lessons can we take from this story? First and foremost, don't give everything to your children. While they may love you dearly, they have their own lives and responsibilities. It's essential to have a financial backup plan for yourself so you're not a financial burden on your family. Second, if living with your children doesn't work, don't hesitate to choose independence. Retirement communities can provide the support you need while still allowing you to maintain your autonomy. Finally, always remember that you're not just living for others. You need to care for yourself, invest in your health, and find joy in the little things. Don't neglect yourself in the pursuit of making sure your children are taken care of. Take charge of your own life and enjoy the years ahead. I encourage you to share your own retirement stories with the community. Join retirement groups or forums where you can learn from others who have gone through similar journeys. They may offer valuable insights and solutions. Thank you for listening to my story today. Don't forget to subscribe and like the Intergenerational Connection channel for more inspiring stories, tips, and conversations about how to live a better, more fulfilling life in your later years. May God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.